teacher's aide because you're from UP. He said, he cited Jose Rizal as the national hero. Do you know where Jose Rizal studied?
Jose Rizal studied in UST, then in Ateneo.
And where else?
Barcelona, Madrid.
Barcelona, Madrid. Why did he have to study abroad?
I don't think that's a question I can answer, Mr. Speaker.
You don't know your history, and you're from UP. How shameful. Here, from 1879 to 1882, Rizal studied medicine, agriculture, serving, philosophy, etc. at the UST. Dissatisfied with education there. So where did he go? In 1884, Rizal completed licenses in medicine philosophy at the Central University of Madrid. Did it make him less patriotic? No. So why are you afraid to bring schools here to educate our children? Did he not die for our country, Mr. Alo?
He did die for our country.
He did. Did he not write 2 books? What are the 2 books that he wrote?
Ano pa yun? El Filibusterismo and Noli Me Tangere.
And what language did he use?
Spanish.
Spanish! My gulay. Read your histories and be more educated. He, national hero, was studying abroad. Open the schools here and let all our students have this information. History of education in the Philippines after the Spanish, because the Spanish wanted to control only the tertiary education. When the Americans came, I last said, Papa, how did the educational system history here in the Philippines? Didn't the Americans open it because the missionaries came and opened the grade school and opened the education for all Filipinos and not only Spanish?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that was part of the colonial policy of the United States to open the public educational system,
And
Mr.
who
Chair.
were the first teachers here? Weren't they not foreigners?
They were called Thomasites because they rode on the SS Thomas ship that was brought here. Many of them actually were not educators. They were volunteers who wanted to teach in a foreign country.
But were they foreigners?
Yes, initially, Mr. Chair. Later on, Filipinos who graduated from primary and secondary school were allowed to teach. You did not need a college degree at that time to teach in public school, high schools, and elementary. A elementary graduate and a high school graduate were allowed to teach if you were Filipino because they needed a lot of teachers because of the public school system, Mr. Chair.
And that proves my point, Mr. Chair. Foreigners were here to educate us in the beginning, and now we can educate ourselves. But you have to open it up to competition so that you can actually, you cannot raise your hand if I don't recognize you. So, Mr. Chair, nationalism is good, but you don't have the monopoly of love of country. We all do. We love this country, just like Jose Rizal, who died, but was educated abroad. I myself, I will not compare myself to Rizal, but graduated at UCLA and went to Harvard for some executive courses. But I do love my country and I am nationalistic. And I will lay my life like Jose Rizal to protect the nationalism of our country. But please, educate our children. They should be educated in the best schools that the Philippines can have. Whether international or local universities should set up here, as long as they are the best institutions to educate our children. I myself am ashamed. Why? My daughter, who is 18, is graduating in Brent. Why? Because they have one of the best educational systems, so that if they apply in the Ivy League schools abroad, in Oxford University, in Harvard, Stanford, and the likes, she has at least a chance of going to the best institutions in the world, learning from them like I did in UCLA, coming back to the Philippines and educating everyone here especially in the laws that uplift the poverty and the poor people of the Philippines. So I dare you, open the educational system in the Philippines to competition to make sure our children can be educated by the best minds in the world. Thank you, Mr. Chair.